Hey YouTube! About a year ago, on this channel, I shared a project where I 3D printed my own Springos. They're kind of like Slinkies, but I made them. So they're Springos. And you know, I did some cool stuff. I made the Pentagon Springo. I made this giant Springo. I even took this low poly skull model and Springofied that. Very cool, definitely cool. But I didn't go too crazy with it. And you know, I've learned over the past year that you guys kind of like it when I go crazy. So that's what we're doing today. I'm gonna go crazy with it. Alakazam fruit salad! Pineapple Springo! Pineapple Springo! This is exactly what we needed. No, you're mine. Perfect. Banana! Wait! It doesn't have to be like this. I love you. It's okay, baby. Just keep breathing. You'll be just fine. Just keep breathing. It's okay. Give it to me straight, Doc.
Congratulations. It's a banana.
They said we couldn't do it. It's a miracle, baby.
Welcome to Make Anything. Cool. Hey guys, welcome to Make Anything. I'm Devin. I hope you enjoyed that little performance to get you guys excited about my Springo collection, because I'm so excited about it. Like I mentioned, the last time I talked about Springos really was a year ago, and since then I've fine-tuned the process. I figured out how to turn really anything into a Springo, even more so than before. And as you can see, I went crazy with it. So I have another video that I'll put out where I'm gonna tell you exactly how I made one of these. I'll tell you my whole new process of making them from scratch so you can totally understand it. This video is just gonna be a bit more of a quick showcase because I have so much to show you guys. So I'll just talk a little bit about all the different Springos I have and show you what's cool about them. The first Springo I added to my collection since the last video was this one right here, the Sphere Springo. I'm gonna break one of these before the end of the video, I guarantee it. This one's really cool, and I actually did this one almost a year ago and just didn't get around to sharing it with you guys, so I'm really excited to show it off now because I think it's a really fun idea to make a slinky type object. It's a Springo. But to make one based on a sphere, I don't think that's ever been done, and it ends up being really fun. This was a bit of a challenge. Those of you who have 3D printers know that it can be really tough to print a sphere because you're gonna need support material on the bottom that usually ends up being ugly, especially for spheres since they've got every grade of slope and they're so smooth. So this one was actually printed in 2 hemispheres, and those were welded together using a little bit of 3D pen action right in the middle. In order to line up the 2 halves perfectly, I used these binder clips to hold everything in place. Then I loaded up my 3D pen with the same filament that I used to print the Springo and I ran that through really hot to make this glob of molten plastic to fuse the parts together. While it was still hot, I smushed it down with the spatula as much as I could, and then I used clippers and blades to try to scrape it down and make it as invisible a connection as possible. I did the same thing on the bottom of that connection as well to make sure that this is really strong, because we don't want a weak point right in the middle of the Springo. And as you can see, it ends up being a really strong connection. This one's really quite heavy and it feels great. This is printed in Melt Ink's Aqua glow-in-the-dark filament. So not only does it have a really pleasant color in daylight, it glows quite well in the dark, which makes everything a little bit cooler. Really fun to try and roll it. Springo Sphere. So that was the last Springo I did for a long time, and then a little bit more recently, I came up with this wavy Springo, which I did show off a little bit in other videos, but this one's also just really pleasant to look at. It's more simple, it's not a pineapple, but it's super cool, and this neon green Pro PLA from Matter Hackers is just so bright. It's insanely fluorescent and it's really cool. Looks really cool under a black light as well. So that one came out really nice, and that's kind of when I got re-energized to make more Springos. I also made this design here that's based on my chromatic vase, and I made little chromatic Springos. These were printed on a little printer called the KR10S, and it's a dual color printer with a single nozzle. It's kind of a novelty printer, but it does have this cool effect where when you print a perfect mix of two colors, it actually creates this kind of dichroic effect where one half is one color, the other half is more of the other color, and as you rotate it, it kind of fades between the two colors that are being merged into the one nozzle. So that's a pretty cool thing. Unfortunately, that printer is still a little finicky. It's jammed at the moment. And when I tried to blend the colors for the pineapple, and I tried to do the large pineapple as well, they ended up all fusing together and not working out. So it was cool when it worked, but I'm still working on that. And I'll share more about that printer in the future. By this point, I was back into the Springo spirit. I decided to just keep going with it. And I just so happened to get the Einscan SP 3D scanner around the same time. And this was my first time really experimenting with the scanner, and I used it to scan a bunch of different fruits. Like I said, I'll tell you more about it in other videos, but basically that's how I got all these fruit Springos. I scanned parts of it at least. For example, with this pineapple, the bottom is a scan of a pineapple, and the top, since the real tops of pineapples can be really hairy and crazy, I wasn't able to scan that part, so I made it in virtual reality, which is cool in its own regard. I mean, this kind of just speaks for itself. I also did the banana. That was pretty much the same idea. I did have to straighten out the model that I scanned so that I could put a coil through it and make it into a Springo, but it works really great. Then I did an apple, did a bell pepper, Springos, all of them, of course. And I also did them at different scales. So I made some little tiny half-scale versions of everything. One thing that's interesting is these two. I have the bell pepper and the little apple, both half scale, but there's like a 0.5 millimeter difference in the thickness of the coils. And look at this. Apple, a little bit springy. Bell pepper, very springy. So that's pretty interesting. It shows off how much of a difference a slight change in the design will make. And that leaves a lot of potential for different levels of springiness and for using this for different functions. As I was doing all these fruits and vegetables, October rolled in and I realized there's no way I can not do a pumpkin just in time for Halloween. So I actually got this kind of pumpkin squash hybrid. It's from the backyard. It's not really edible. It's not quite a pumpkin, not quite a squash, but I scanned that and turned that into a Springo. And then I kind of just remodeled it to make it more of a pumpkin. I got all kinds of pumpkins. So I got that squashy pumpkin, I got this more round pumpkin, and this is the half scale. So there's actually a massive one. I just didn't get to print it in time, and it's a lot of filament. But I got that one, I got this other more petite looking one, and hey, surprise, There's a pumpkin inside the pumpkin. My girlfriend actually brought up the point that you could theoretically model something inside the Springo and have it be like a little secret reveal. You know, I could put SpongeBob inside the pineapple, stuff like that. But after I did the pumpkins, I was like, hey, I wonder if I can use one of these dual extruder printers that I'm trying out and make a dual color Springo. And that's when I made these jack-o'-lantern Springos. So these were actually printed with dual extruders and they came out great. I struggled a lot making these, I'll be honest. Modeling these is not easy, and it definitely takes a toll on all the different 3D modeling software that I use to come up with these. But man, they're just so cute and awesome. Now I just keep coming up with ideas of more Springos. I definitely want to hear your ideas in the comments because I always get great ideas from you guys as well. Making these is super fun. Like I said, I'll have that other video showing you guys exactly how to make these yourselves. And I'm also gonna have all these files available at my mini factory for you to download. Now, in the past, I've given away all my files for free, and I'm still gonna give away several of these for free, but like I said, they're just so much work, and I put a lot of time into making these work at different sizes. I can't just scale this model. You actually have to model it differently for the full scale and the half scale and the little quarter scale over there. So it's a lot of work I put into these. So I'm gonna put all of these fruits and vegetables into one big bundle that you guys can buy through the My Mini Factory Premium store. It's a new thing they're doing, selling some STL files, but I'll also have several of the really cool ones available for free, so you can still try them out. You can still have Springos. I still want to give everyone access to great designs. I just also need some motivation to keep making this many Springos and to really putting all the work into finessing them. So that's why I'll have some available for sale and others available for free. Find links to both in the description. And you know, you're gonna be able to make your own as well when you watch my other video. So hey, I hope that satisfies you guys. Springos! All right, well, I'm about to jump straight into that tutorial video to show you guys how to make your own Springos and how I 3D scanned and virtual reality sculpted all this. It's super cool. I hope you guys will check it out. I know it's a little more time consuming, a little more nerdy, but hey, that can be fun too. But that's it for this video, so until next time, I'm Devin, this is Make Anything. Don't forget to stay inspired. Pya!